John, you talked earlier in the year about using Antonio off the bench, maybe sixth-man spark. Why the switch today?
I didn't like how we started the last game. Just didn't like it. And I said, let's him come in and see if we start better, if we defend a little bit better. But it doesn't matter. I mean, you're going to have four guards playing 25 minutes unless someone plays a lot. It's what it is. I called him in, and one thing I said to him, I had the four guards and Chris, and I said, I want to play Chris more. But you guys got to help me, because right now, with Chris there, his mind's a little jumbled right now. And he needs you to give him confidence. He needs you to be talking to him on the court. And then he's responsible for making easy plays, going and rebounding, flying up and down. Biggest thing is defensively. Both he and Adu, I told them both. I thought Adu did some great things. How about those blocks? Well, just stay in front of people. He's going to block it. He's got a knack for that. But they're getting beat on straight line drives. They're leaving their feet, and here comes a guy. The problem with that is you're going to get Oscar in foul trouble because you're not keeping that man in front of you. But want to play those guys. I thought Ugana, Lance was sick, would have played if we needed him. But he, so that's why we did what we did. But we played, we worked one day on what I would call a sequence. You fly up and down the court, you fly and it's not there. And let me just say, because as a coach, I talk about the sequence, which I've done, but I haven't said this is, and I put the sequence on the board, and I looked at one of the guys and I said, tell me what the sequence is. He didn't know. Which tells you that's why we played a couple games where if it wasn't there, no one moved the ball. We held it, shot bad shots, shots that you can't rebound, quick threes that were contested. So we're going to spend time really working on when you play a good team, you're not just running them out of the gym, but you're going to fly to try. What happens next? If the ball moves, what's the last thing that happens with 10 seconds on the clock? How do you get a good shot now? So we're working on it. Today, again, there were some execution breakdowns again. I mean, I said, okay, we're going to run this. Do you know it? Two guys said no. We ran a play, and the guy didn't go where he was supposed to. Another guy didn't cut off. We got work to do. But I like what I saw, assisted turnovers. I like what I saw, figuring out for the first time how we post Oscar, stuff that we're trying to do. I like Dugana, but he gets tired. Chris got tired. I told him, sub yourself. Don't stay in there and get beat on the dribble twice. Sub yourself. Yes.
You mentioned lack of practice time as far as the team kind of being discombobulated. What was different about pre-Bahamas practices to what would have happened in late October?
All that stuff we were doing, it was team camaraderie. So we were running two things. That was it. And everything was about, all right, let's get in shape. Let's fly up and down the court. Let's work on spacing. But the execution, none of the stuff that we're running now, we really ran down there. That's the Bahamas trip, is to go play competition. Who will fight in those situations? Who's not afraid to make shots when the lights are on? And let's get together and have a ball and get to know one another. And that's what the Bahamas trip is. But like I said, when we weren't together with Oscar and Severe and Damian, that's why I kept saying it's going to take us a little time. I'm not happy that we lost 2 games. I want to win every game I coach, especially one. And I've talked to both Tom and Mark. We're friends. We gave one away. We did. The other one I knew would have been hard for us to win. But I thought we would battle and it would come down to to be truthful, an execution play that they would make that we couldn't make. But when it started the way it started and we couldn't make a shot, it got ugly. But today, again, like North Florida, Matt, they went to Duquesne and should have won the game. A floater at the buzzer, they got beat by 1. They went to Washington and played them to an 8-point game. Gonzaga got them pretty good, and we got them pretty good. They beat South Carolina State. Their league is really good, but Matt is a terrific coach. Plus, he's from Pittsburgh. I don't know if you heard him say Yins. He said Yins like 3 times. I said, you can't say that outside the city limits. Yes.
Given what you just said there about not running a ton of stuff in the Bahamas and with the injuries that occurred, did you forecast any kind of the issues in terms of understanding what you guys wanted to run, not being able to execute in certain game situations, entering some of those bigger games you've already played?
Again, here's what happens. You ask them the question, and they can't answer it. And that means, as a teacher, you haven't done your job. They need to be able to answer the question. I even put it on the board and said, what is it? And one guy, but I stood in front of it. So the guy was trying to look around me so he could answer it. So, now we're talking about it every day. I'm asking them questions. What are we supposed to do? Because you think they know, and when you think they know something, you're always wrong. And, now here's the other thing that's happening. When people are playing 2- and 3-man games and they bring people together, the same 2 guys on my team, when they're in those, get scored on. It might not be them, it'll be the other guy. Someone's getting scored on. So now we know. We know that getting beat on the bounce. If you want to play, you can't just get beat on straight line drives where your man's driving down the lane or baseline. You can't. If you want to play, especially in the high-level games, which our league, every game will be high level, and we still got a bunch left to play. But you have to play the kind of games we're playing to find out what we're going to have to work on. It's hard when you're winning by 30 or 40, 20. It's hard because you get intoxicated like we'll be all right. Every time we broke down against Michigan State and Gonzaga, they scored. Every time. That's what good teams do. And that's why you got to play a good team and let them do that so you can get with your team, show them on tape, and say, you're not beating anybody that's good if we don't get this right. Look, here's the biggest thing. I love this group. They're great teammates. There's still some guys unsure of themselves. Most of them have a ways to go. Some of them want to play a different way than the way this team needs them to play. And I just got to demand you're going to play it the right way. But it's a good group. And like I said the last time, we're a work in progress. We're going to work every day. We got some time. And by the way, Bellarmine, they're good. I mean, they're really good. And so we got our hands full, and then we leave for London. And we got some time. Tomorrow we'll probably do some things for Thanksgiving. The team and some of their families will be at the house, but probably go to the Salvation Army and serve and do some stuff. Maybe stop by the Hope House later that night with my family and do some stuff. So, and I would say, for all of us, you just think that, one, I have a child that was born on Thanksgiving Day, Megan, whose birthday was today. And the things that have happened for me and my family, I'm thankful. How about the opportunity to coach here and be a part of what this goes on and be here for our fans, who are the greatest. They're engaged, and I get a chance to do that. So I'm thankful for all that too. I would tell everybody, if anybody's writing this or you're listening, reach out to somebody who may be by themselves. Invite them to your house. Maybe somebody that's older, maybe a widow, maybe somebody that's moved to town and they're here by themselves. Invite them to the house. Bring them food and spend some time with them. I mean, it's a great time, and I think for all of us, that's why we do stuff at Thanksgiving. I want these kids to feel it, what it is, and the appreciation of people. And only by the grace of God, we're not here trying to eat. Only by the grace of God. I mean, I didn't grow up in an Ivy League, you know. I mean, how did I bust through and do this? By the grace of God. So, you know, seeing all this stuff, knowing, you know, and I'll just say one thing. Every year, I'm hoping it's going to be easy. And at some point, it is not easy. This stuff is really hard. Thanksgiving's coming at a great time. Be thankful. Yeah, it's hard. If it were easy, everybody'd do it. It's hard. So, looking forward to tomorrow to be with the kids and do some of the stuff we're going to do. And then we start Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And we got to get this right. And I thought we did some good things defensively today. You know, we did. Yes.
Hey, John, when Matt was in here, he really praised the way that you guys passed the ball. But I wanted to specifically ask about Oscar with so much of the attention on his rebounding, and rightly so, as well as the scoring. Do you think his ability as a passer gets overlooked?
Well, he's gotten better. If you remember, he wasn't a real good passer a year ago, especially early in the year. But to have 5 assists and 1 turnover and 3 steals, that's a big game. Now, we have a belt that we give out after wins, the most impactful player. Who impacted the game? The staff gets it, and it's a big, shiny belt. Maybe they'll show you. He got it today. He was the most impactful, not because of points and rebounds, because of what you said. He had 5 assists, he had 3 blocks or 3 steals and 2 blocks. That's impacting the game. And he'll have the belt until the next win. You don't get no belts on a loss, but we maybe if he didn't take it already, because he wore it. He was wearing it around the locker room. Yes. He wore it to the radio? Geez.
John, early in the second half, looked like CJ may have stepped awkward, like tweaked his hamstring or something. He never came back
Said
in.
it was, yeah, I did, because I got scared. And Lance being sick, I said, we don't need you just, because, you know, this next week of practice to get us right is going to be vital. With him, it was a cramp. And he says, even when I feel it cramp up, I get scared. So he was in there, and I walked in. I said, are you all right? He said, yeah, I'm good, but I got scared, which, understanding. And Kaysen, I think, hit knees. He just said, get me out. But they were all pretty good.
What have you seen defensively from Antonio since he's gotten here to today? And I guess what else does he need to do to continue working?
He needs to talk more. He needs to be more engaged in what's happening, not just playing his man. He does a pretty good job of playing his man. Now we got to take this to another level and say the way you're playing offensively, he started messing with the ball, can be cured. You mess with the ball, take you out. Just pass it, shoot it, score it. If you have a move to make, that's fine. But when he gets in groups of 2s and 3s, he now is worried about his man, and that's when you get beat by all the other stuff. Because basically you're in a zone. I'm taking this out, you take that way. And he's learning. But I'll tell you what, he's a good player. He's a good player. So is CJ. I mean, one of them comes off the bench. I didn't like the defensive look to start the game, and maybe even at Michigan State, even though I thought we did some good stuff. All right, let me go do this radio show.